It's time for Wolo and Friends on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here is your host, the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
As I was walking down the street one day, a man came up to me and asked me what the time was that was on my watch. Yeah, and I said, does anybody really know what time it is?
Dave is not here today. Dave Woloshin is not here. He's in Fort Worth, Texas, gearing up for the American Conference men's basketball tournament. Because I guess the women finished yesterday, correct?
2 days ago.
2 days ago, the women finished.
They lost in the semifinals.
Oh, no, not the Memphis. The tournament ended
Oh,
yesterday.
yes, the tournament ended yesterday.
Tournament ended
correct.
yesterday, yeah.
The championship game was last night.
And the women lost 2 days ago. Tough loss today, but they're planning to play in the NIT, Dave says.
They should, yeah. They have a good turnaround for those women.
Coach Merriweather, how about that? And the men play today. And who did they play, Bryant?
UCF, the Knights.
The UCF Knights. Tough game, too. The Knights beat, they're 1-1 with the Knights this year, right?
That's right.
And the kid, we'll talk more about the Tigers. We're going to talk a lot about the Tigers. We're going to talk a lot about conference tournaments because Bryant and I love conference tournament basketball.
Love conference
especially
tournament.
Bryant. I hear rumor that Bryant has an entire segment worked out today all about conference tournament basketball.
I wonder where you had heard that
Am
from.
I hearing it correctly, Bryant?
Yes,
I
you
heard
are.
Wow, so that's the rumor on the street, and Bryant did not disappoint. That's crazy.
I love when rumors are true.
I tell you what about when they're false?
Well, then it gets all dirty. I mean, it
loses your faith in rumors when they're false.
But when they're true, you get all that faith back.
So they play UCF today. It'll be a great – and the kid from UCF did not win Rookie of the Year in the league.
No.
The kid from Houston did. What's his name?
Jarris Walker.
Walker.
Yeah.
And what's the kid from UCF's name?
Taylor Hendricks.
And he's a first-round draft pick.
I was looking at a mock draft this morning that has him going to Memphis. Grizzlies.
Oh, he's a Grizz.
He's a Grizz.
He's a Grizz, so we'll see if that ends up being true or not. It's hard to predict when you don't know where the teams will end up drafting. Mm-hmm. But he's a first-round draft grade.
He is a first-round draft grade, that's for sure.
That's crazy.
Good player.
And is the kid from Houston a first-round draft grade?
Oh, the kid from Houston's like a top 10 draft grade.
Oh, so maybe he deserved to be Rookie of the Year in the league then.
Probably.
I see.
Good player. Both are really good players.
And Houston swept a lot of those awards. Rookie, defense, player of
the
the year.
Yeah.
They had another award too, didn't they?
Probably coach of the year.
Yeah, Kelvin Sampson, coach of the year. That's right. And his son is a candidate for the Texas Tech opening.
Keelan, yeah.
Keelan Sampson.
Yeah. I saw him out there.
Kellen.
Is it Kellen? Keelan or Kellen? I
think it's Kellen.
I think it is Kellen.
Keelan would be a name that I've never heard before, other than Lawson. Yeah. And Kellen would be a more common name.
That's
but
right.
Your guess is
as good as mine. It probably is
Kellen.
You're right. But I saw him out there. He gets after those guys in warm-ups.
Kellen does?
Yeah, he's just sitting there with a stern look on his face the whole time, just yelling at him. It's great.
Love it. So we'll talk more about the Tigers here in a minute. The Grizzlies played last night. They beat the Warriors. The final score was 131 to 110.
Junior played.
Yeah, Kenneth Lofton Jr. played. Kennedy Chandler also played.
Everyone played.
Yeah, everyone played. Everyone that was on the bench last night played. The Grizzlies shot 45% from three, 53% from the game. That's incredible.
Yeah.
They're not going to shoot that well again for the rest of the year, maybe against the Rockets.
They were just knocking down everything early in that game.
Those are all the thoughts I have that I care to share on the radio, that they won the game 131 to 110. You got anything else,
Good
Brian?
win for the Grizz. They needed that.
Good. Well, then that's all we're going to talk about that then. We do have a Tigers game tonight, though, like we were just talking about. They play UCF tonight, a team that they're 1-1 against on the year. Bryant, Ken Pomeroy thinks that the Tigers win by 5.
Really?
Tell me about this UCF team. What do we need to watch for?
Wait, Ken Pom has Memphis winning by 5?
Excuse me, by 3.
I was about to say, yesterday when I saw it, I thought it moved overnight.
Well, my eyes don't always work the way they're supposed to.
That's why you should wear glasses.
He has the Tigers winning by 3 points. Bryant, what do I need to watch for with UCF tonight?
Well, I think 3-point shooting, that's where they've really gotten the Tigers in the last 2 games. Now, you remember, in both those games, the Tigers led in both of those, the game they won and the game that they lost.
Greg Peterson also has the Tigers winning by 3.
Oh, wow. I wonder do you know what the line is? The actual line?
Keep talking. I'll find it.
So I think three-point shooting is going to be the big thing. But, I mean, remember when this game was at UCF, when they had to go to 2 overtimes to decide a winner, Memphis was up by about 15 at one point and just couldn't in the second half, but just couldn't close the game out. And so I think that's going to be the big thing tonight.
Tigers by 5.5.
Wow. Decisions to be made before we have to make our picks later this afternoon.
I just made my decision. And sounds like you did too. Not that Greg Peterson is anybody that you...
I got 2 guts right here.
Well, this isn't sports time. We're not going to lie. Yeah, Greg Peterson's the ringer.
Yeah.
Brett, if you're listening.
But sometimes I go against him.
Twice.
Yeah. Maybe 3 times a charm.
3 times a lady.
That's right.
Anyway, UCF, they shoot the ball well,
They shoot the ball well, and defensively they're good. So I think the Tigers just got to come out strong. I think, the last game was against UCF was the game that Kendrick rolled his ankle again and had to leave around halftime of that game. So you'll be able to have pretty much your whole squad available tonight, which I think helps a lot. But I think get out to a fast start, knock down shots early, and defend the 3, and you're going to put yourself in a really good spot against this team.
To your point, what you were saying, Bryant, UCF, according to Ken Pomeroy's metrics, their defensive efficiency is the second best in the league. 100 points per 100.8 defensive efficiency rating. That's essentially 100 points per 100 possessions. That's extremely good when you think about how much it's factored to go up there. 100 points per possession would be average in general. The best turnover ratio in the league, even better than Houston, which is an excellent defense.
Yeah.
And they're also top 25 in the nation in turnover percentage, which is really good. They force their opponents to shoot a very low 48% effective field goal percentage. That's top 50 in the nation. Excuse me, top 60 in the nation. They rebound the ball well offensively, grabbing 34% of their misses. That's, I'm sure, significant. And like you said, shoot the ball well, top 75 in the nation from 3.
Yeah, well, and this is they're a pretty long team, and that helps certainly with defensively and getting steals and rebounds and everything. I mean, you look at kind of their starting lineup, 6'1", 6'5", 6'5", 6'9", and 7 foot. So some good length, and Taylor Hendricks is really long, the freshman we were talking about earlier. But they struggled early last night against SMU, and so I think you can either look at that in 2 ways. You can either look at it and say, well, they struggled against a bad team, and maybe Memphis is getting them at the right time, or you could look at it as, well, they kind of got all of that off their back yesterday and came back from about a 13-point, 15-point deficit against SMU and won that game. Well, now they're going to be rolling. They've kind of have that game under their belt. While the Tigers haven't played since last Sunday. So it's, I don't know. I think a strong start, a fast start for the Tigers is going to be key.
Best player on Houston, Bryant.
Best player on Houston?
I mean, on UCF. They're playing UCF. Best player on, let me try that again. Best player on UCF, Bryant.
Probably Taylor Hendricks.
Taylor Hendricks. I would tend to agree with you, even though I haven't really watched them play. Although the first game against Memphis, he was not the leading scorer in that double overtime win.
Who was? I don't remember.
Thiel Horton.
Okay.
Scored 20 in the game in double overtime. Taylor Hendricks, though, had 17 in the last game against Memphis. He was the leading scorer for the game, but he was 5 of 14 from the field in that basketball game. 2 of 7 from 2, 3 of 7 from 3. That is not a great percentage.
No, well, and that's I'm starting to remember that first game now because I do remember that was the game where I hadn't really paid attention to Taylor Hendricks much.
And David
before
Cobb,
that first game. And
David Cobb was telling us how good he
was
is.
the one saying, this is a first-round guy. And I was like, what? And so I was really watching for him in that first game, and the Tigers did a really good job defensively against him, and he did not have a good game. I think he ended up fouling out.
He did foul out of the game, essentially the same percentage, 5 of 13 in that game. He was 5 of 14, but he went to the free throw line a lot more times in the second game in Memphis. He did not go to the free throw line at all at UCF.
Yeah, so I think what did Michael Durr play in that second game? Do you have that pulled up?
And I said Horton had 20 points in the first game. Horton scored 30 in the first game. And C.J. Kelly, a guy off the bench, scored 21. You said who?
Michael Durr, the second game. I know
Michael
he didn't play in the
Durr
first game.
played 10 minutes in the second game. He only scored 3 points in that game, only took 5 shots.
Wow. I'll be curious to see. I think he was just coming back from injury in that game. I'll be curious to see kind of how he plays tonight. That's their 7-foot center down low, kind of how Malcolm matches up with him.
Since that Memphis game, he scored 15 points, 11 points, 7 points, and 9 points. And seems.
How did he do yesterday? What did he do yesterday?
Against SMU yesterday, he had 9 points on 3 of 4 shooting. Went to the free throw line twice and was 3 of 4. He had 6 rebounds in that game as well.
Interesting. Okay, so
And a block.
yeah,
Only 2 fouls.
saw-
Played 28 minutes, so played a majority of the game.
yeah. So I think you'll see a lot of Michael Durr, and I think it'll be a big game for Malcolm because he'll definitely get that assignment of guarding Michael Durr.
Will he be starting?
Who, Michael Durr or Malcolm?
Malcolm. I know this is total conjecture. You have no reporting on the subject, but he hasn't started at this point,
yeah,
correct?
I don't think so. I think he'll get a bulk of minutes. Penny seems to be, once he likes a lineup, he kind of
Coach
usually
Hardaway.
Coach Hardaway, excuse me. He likes to stick with it, so I think
Because if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
yeah.
It's a great strategy.
So I think he'll stick with the same strong lineup, but you'll
Start
see
a guy, play him 6 minutes. I
Yeah,
love that.
you'll certainly see a lot of Malcolm, and I think the biggest question is really he's got to play a lot because you're not going to see any KO, and if you don't see any KO and you don't start Malcolm, then you really don't have any big down there. So I think Malcolm's going to play a lot tonight.
Yeah, the last game against Houston, Malcolm did not start, but he played 28 minutes in the game.
I don't know if he'll play that many minutes. You might have to play him that many minutes, but I don't think Penny wants to throw him out there for 30 minutes.
SMU, he only played 13 minutes. Very limited.
Yeah,
I
well,
remember that.
the 3 game, or I think because that was his 4th game, the Houston game, I believe.
Cincinnati, he played 12.
Yeah, so it's been like 13, 12, 6 or something
And
like
Wichita
that.
State, he played 13.
Yeah.
So he's played 13, 13, and 12 in the 3 games prior to.
And then 6 against Houston was his first game back, I think.
6 minutes
Yeah.
against Houston, and
So-
KO played 8. Wow, KO beat him out.
But I don't think you see any KO anymore the rest of the season.
Probably for the best.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say that. I don't know the kid, but I don't think he's very good, Bryant.
He's very very raw when it comes to the game of basketball.
Should we? Yes. True. I'm not going to expand upon
Yeah.
that whatsoever. Memphis, what's their key to the? You mentioned the things that UCF is good at. How about we break it down in terms of the Memphis Tigers? What is their key to the basketball game?
I mean,
You mentioned guarding the big guy.
Yeah.
Malcolm guarding the big guy. Kendrick Davis has to get a lot of points.
I mean
obviously.
that seems to be the key to every game is Kendrick and DeAndre need to play well. I mean,
simple as that.
yeah. I mean, I would like to see DeMarie have another good game. He's played really well coming off the bench. I'd like to see some of that guard play still out there. I'd like to see him win the rebounding battle. They've done that a lot, but they let up a lot of offensive rebounds and second chance points. So I want to see them do better on the glass through this conference tournament. for
Excellent. Well, hopefully the Tigers get a win today. That game is at
Sure. 6
o'clock.
ESPNU.
How about that?
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be a lot of fun. Game started at 11 today, starting with the Big Ten tournament, Rutgers and Purdue. More on that in the next segment because now that we talked about the Grizzlies ad nauseum. We talked about much Grizzlies.
Wow. I don't think we could talk any more Grizzlies.
Can't stop talking about that game. Loved it. And then we just previewed the Tigers game, so we've checked those boxes.
Mm-hmm.
Those are all the local sports, right?
I think so.
That are happening right now.
I
The
think so.
Redbirds haven't started.
Nope.
901 FC hasn't started.
No, but they just came out with their kits for this year. It's all black.
Excellent use of the word kit, by the way.
Thank you.
Speaking of kits, Ted Lasso starts on Wednesday. You like Ted Lasso?
I've seen it, yeah.
Well, that's excellent because I want to talk about a television show here that I wrote a little review for here. This is so if would be a good time to tune out if you don't like television, and if you do, I got a good one for you here.
Okay.
If you like Ted Lasso, the creator of Ted Lasso is a fella by the name of Bill Lawrence. Bill Lawrence, he also created the show Scrubs and Courtney Cox's show Cougar Town. Which is both are good shows. I love Scrubs, but there's a new show on Apple TV Plus. They just came out with their 8th episode today. They come out every Friday. Apple TV Plus, like I said, it's a show called Shrinking. It's created by Bill Lawrence, who you knew from Ted Lasso, Scrubs, and Cougar Town. It's also created by Jason Segel was involved in it. Jason Segel, an actor in How I Met Your Mother, Forgetting Sarah Marshall, and I Love You Man, and Brett Goldstein, who is a name you might not know, but you do know something he's in. Ted Lasso, he plays Roy Kent. Roy Kent,
yeah.
the moody star player that ends up retiring at the end of the
and
first
tries
season.
broadcasting, but then goes into coaching.
Comes back into coaching. That happens in season 2. Exactly right. So those are the 3 guys that created this show, Shrinking. Shrinking, here's the synopsis blurb from Apple TV. Jimmy, played by Jason Segel, is struggling to grieve with the loss of his wife while being a dad, friend, and a therapist. He decides to try a new approach with everyone in his path, unfiltered, brutal honesty. Can he help himself himself by helping others? Will it bring him back into the light? So Jimmy, played by Jason Segel, plays a therapist, hence the title of the show, Shrinking. They call him Shrinks, is a shrink. The star-studded cast in this. Jason Segel, who I said is a therapist in this, grieving the death of his wife, struggling to connect with his daughter. Also stars Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford, who you know is
42.
Han Solo. He's in 42.
Yeah.
Plays Branch Rickey in 42. He's in Indiana Jones, Air Force One, The Fugitive. Everyone knows Harrison Ford. He plays Dr. Paul Rhodes, a senior therapist and colleague of Jimmy, who also looks after Jimmy's daughter, Alice, as a therapist. He's struggling with Parkinson's and trying to connect with his own daughter in the process, so he's going through stuff in the show. Krista Miller, who is Bill Lawrence's wife, she plays Kate in the Drew Carey Show. She plays Jordan in Scrubs and Ellie in Cougar Town. She is a staple in all of Bill Lawrence's shows, except for Ted Lasso, I suppose. But he plays Jimmy's next-door neighbor who's kind of nosy, helps him looking after Jimmy's daughter, and also was one of his dead wife's best friends. Another one of his dead wife's best friend is Jessica Williams, who plays a fellow therapist working with Jimmy, and one of Tia, Jimmy's wife, deceased wife, best friends. Jessica Williams hadn't been in a lot of stuff. She was a correspondent on The Daily Show for 4 years, 2012 to 2016. And it's two debuts. Lukita Maxwell plays Alice, Jimmy's teenage daughter, who has a strained relationship with her father and is dealing with the grief for a losing mother. She hasn't really been in anything. And Luke Tenney, who plays Sean, one of Jimmy's patients, an Army veteran suffering from anger management issues, who moves in with Jimmy. First thing I've ever seen those two people in, and that's essentially the whole cast. One more guy, Michael Urie from Ugly Betty's the only thing I recognized him from. He plays Jimmy's best friend, who is a lawyer who's getting married in his own right. So that's the entire cast. He's just a character, Brian. He's not a real person. Jason Segel, Harrison Ford, Krista Miller. They're really the star-studded cast to me. And Jessica Williams is one of the stars of the show, does a great job as well. It's a really excellent show that is a comedy drama, blends the two well. That's kind of Bill Lawrence's forte. If you've seen Scrubs.
Kind of how Ted Lasso was.
Exactly how Ted Lasso is, with an emphasis on comedy, though. It's very goofy, very silly, but there also is a lot of emotion and drama in it. Scrubs is the same way. If you haven't seen Scrubs, these are characters working in a hospital, and it's very goofy. It has flashbacks and daydreams that kind of loosen it up and make it goofy. But also, one of the real things they deal with in Scrubs is death. It's a hospital. That happens in a hospital all the time. It's one of the things you deal with as a doctor. They don't shy away from that, so it's that blend of emotion and comedy. I think this is his most ambitious job of trying to blend the two together. I'm going to read some blurbs here, then I have my own. The first one here is from Brian Lowry at CNN. This Apple TV Plus series from the team behind Ted Lasso grows on you with some very funny writing, appealing characters, and as a nifty bonus, Harrison Ford is an unexpectedly effective sitcom version of a cranky old man. I think all the characters get funnier as the episodes go on. John Nugent from Empire Magazine says Shrinking is sweetly funny and sentimental almost to a fault. It's worth watching for a goofily poignant Jason Segel and a gloriously grouchy Harrison Ford. So that's two reviews now that talk about how Harrison Ford kind of a grumpy old man, but he's very good. Not always considered by movie critics to be a strong actor. He's in a lot of action movies, Indiana Jones and Star Wars. He doesn't necessarily get to show his acting chops. He's very good in this role, seriously. Wendell Ma of News Australia says, for a story fueled by grief, Shrinking expertly balances a hard-to-hit tone. It can be melancholic and hopeful, gloomy and absurd. Nick Allen of RogerEbert.com says Shrinking has a good grasp of its thoughtful quirkiness while also knowing how to let its characters run free. Those are the positives. I have two negatives, too. Then I'll get to what I think of it. Jen Chaney from New York Magazine and Vulture says its characters may be quick-witted, entertaining, and portrayed by skillful actors, but listening to them drone on about the same personal problems becomes enervating over the course of 10 episodes. Daniel D'Arvio of Variety says the plainness of the Lawrence approach to dialogue hurts the show. When everyone is saying what they think all the time, there lacks the texture to keep us on the hook when what they think is not on its face interesting or totally credible. I don't really see anything.
She doesn't like the show.
Daniel.
Sorry, excuse me.
I don't necessarily see eye to eye with any of the negative reviews. I guess maybe droning on about the same personal problems. I kind of see that criticism, but I've actually liked each episode more and more because at the beginning they have to get you connected to the grief and the problems of these characters, and as they kind of start to bloom, they start to open up, and there's more room for comedy here. So here's what I wrote. Shrinking is my favorite new show of the 2022-2023 TV season in a genre that I find to be one of the most difficult, which is the melding of comedy and drama. Bill Lawrence has solidified himself as a master of the art. Shrinking, however, is his most ambitious project, being that it turns up the volume on drama in a way that Scrubs and Ted Lasso simply do not. Through the first 8 episodes of the first season, which is all there is so far, the 8th episode dropped today. Through the first 8 episodes of the first season, I find myself enjoying each successive episode more than the previous. The characters open up, blossoming almost like a flower, which loosens them up and opens the door for comedy, without losing the personal drama that each of them is dealing with. Shrinking is an absolute triumph of comedy and drama, and you'd be hard-pressed to find a show with this much emotion that also exceeds its level of comedy. I give it 4.5 out of 5 stars, Brian. It is my favorite show of this TV season.
And you've told me about a lot of new shows you like.
I like Poker Face just ended. I like Poker Face, but this show is truly exceptional. Like I said, a star-studded cast, Jason Segel, getting Harrison Ford to do a television show.
Yeah.
I think it's only the second time he's ever done TV. An absolute triumph of a show. It is excellent. It is a little bit dramatic, so if you generally like the network lighthearted sitcoms, you might have trouble connecting to this one, but I absolutely recommend it to anybody. It is my favorite show of this TV season. We have Brian's conference tournament previews next.
Be sure to follow us at Sports56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows, stay up to date with station events, and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports56 WHBQ.
Spring is around the corner. That means the sounds of air conditioners cranking up will be in the air soon. Hi, this is Lauren Choate with Choate's Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing. This month only, receive $1,000 off the purchase of a new Carrier AC unit. No gimmicks, just $1,000 off for the Choate's Early Bird Carrier AC special. If your AC is in good shape, call us to get your $60 20-point AC tune-up to get your AC cleaned and ready for the warm seasons ahead. Choate's is here for all your cooling, heating, plumbing, air duct cleaning, and commercial needs. Call us today at 347-8086 to take advantage of these early bird specials. Or to schedule online, visit ChoatesHVAC.com. So turn to the experts with Choates. And remember, let our family serve your family.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-306-8158 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-306-8158. That's 800-306-8158. What do you have to lose? Call 800-306-8158. Again, 800-306-8158.
This March, take your first shot at college hoops with FanDuel Sportsbook and get 10 times your first bet amount in bonus bets. Up to $200 by signing up at FanDuel.com/win. That's right, just bet $20 on the bracket and you'll land $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. That's $200 you can spend betting everything from the money line to point spreads to that 5 versus 12 seed matchup you've been eyeing to that special Cinderella story. All on an app that's safe, secure, and super easy to use. There's no better place to bet the tournament than FanDuel Sportsbook. Sign up today by going to FanDuel.com/win and make every moment more with FanDuel all tournament long. That's FanDuel.com/win all tournament long.
21 plus and present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only. $10 deposit required. Refund issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call Tennessee Redline 1-800-899-9789.
Do not Do so. You do not love Central Barbecue more than me. I've been talking about Central Barbecue for years. I was the first person to do these spots. Well, I may be new doing them, but I want to shout from the rooftops just how much I love it. Okay, smart guy. What are the sides at Central Barbecue? Easy. Home-cooked pork rinds, home-cooked potato chips, greens, green beans, barbecue beans, onion rings, fries, and potato salad. Lucky guess. What can you buy by the pound, huh? Beef brisket, pulled pork, smoked turkey, my favorite, pulled chicken, smoked chicken, and barbecue bologna. Ha! We're out of time. I could do this all day.
There's an institution in East Memphis that I love talking about. It's the Spirit Shop at 4848 Poplar Avenue, right down the street from Clark Tower, and it looks like a log cabin. It's been around Memphis since 1969 with a family-owned, friendly, knowledgeable sales staff that is just a wonderful place to go. I love going in and talking wine or bourbons, and they've got such great selection. So if you've not visited the Spirit Shop in a while, it's been remodeled. You'll love what you see when you need spirits. Tell Eddie Wolo said hello. Homer Skelton Hyundai Genesis in Olive Branch has an offer you can't refuse. They will pay you to do business with them if you want luxury. And I'm talking the Genesis G70 car. If you would love to have that kind of new technology, they will give you a $1,000 rebate when you finance with Genesis Motor Finance. In other words, they'll pay you $1,000 to do business with them, and you get brand new luxury. You can't beat it. That's Homer Skelton Hyundai Genesis, right at the corner of Craft Road and Highway 78 in Olive Branch. Homer Skelton Hyundai Genesis in Olive Branch, where customer retention is amazing. There's a reason. They take care of you with a team that's been together for a long time. Whether it's finance or whether it's service, you can't beat them. Homer Skelton Hyundai Genesis.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
No Davies in Fort Worth. Brian Davis, Jim Morgan Carter.
Wow, that was fast.
Yeah. We got a lot to get to here.
Speed Racer.
We got a lot to get to. You got a lot to get. Speed Racer, go! You know that cartoon?
Pokemon.
No, Speed Racer.
No, not familiar with it.
Why would it be Pokemon? It doesn't matter. We have a lot to get to here because Brian, do you have a title for this?
No. Do you?
Well, it's not my segment. It's your segment. Brian Dacus's college conference
Tournament.
men's basketball
That's
tournament.
a little long. I don't know. We need to workshop
rundown. But it does have, it's fully produced though, I heard, right?
That's what I've heard.
It's really, well, you heard it. You produced it.
I did produce it.
Yeah, it's fully produced here.
I went all out for this.
Which I'm excited for. Well,
Jay Morgan, give me a conference. What conference should we start with?
I want you to start with whichever one you want to.
Oh man, which conference do I want to start with? I think I'm going to start with
alphabetically, or what are we going to do here?
I'm going to start with the ACC. All right. All right. The ACC. Nobody's talking about the court in Greensboro. You remember last week when we were talking about how colorful the court was for the women's game?
Rainbow, I believe.
It's
right?
not anymore for the men's tournament. It's just a plain court. It's ridiculous. And in the first game, 2 players slipped on the court, causing them to leave the game with an ankle injury.
Wouldn't have slipped on a rainbow court.
Wouldn't have slipped on a rainbow court, that's for sure. While nobody's talking about how bad the court is, the biggest story became Jim Boeheim being done at Syracuse after losing to a team with bought players. Ridiculous.
According to him.
According to him. It's understandable, though. Money can't buy happiness, but it can buy a team to make a run in Greensboro, North Carolina, that's for sure. But
and which team is that? Wake Forest?
Wake Forest.
Wow.
And Miami's still in there. So 2 teams that bought players.
Making a run.
Still making a run. So maybe it is the money. But what's stronger, the power of money or the brotherhood?
I don't know. You tell me.
We'll find out tonight. Duke versus Miami. The brotherhood versus the money. Because, Miami, they're the first school to be knocked over with an NIL penalty. Now, that was women's basketball, but it's basketball nonetheless. The money is strong at Miami. But Duke, let me tell you about Duke. They've only lost 2 games since the start of February. They're on a fantastic run, led by 7-foot freshman Kyle Filipowski. Flip. I love Kyle Filipowski. I mean, he does everything you want. He's turned into the leader of this team. What other team can you say in Duke history was led by a freshman? Maybe Zion's team? They didn't go as far, though, as this team's going to go. This team has Final Four written all over them. Jason Tatum, maybe. But they don't have Kyle Filipowski. Kyle Filipowski has played himself into the lottery in my book. You know what? I think he's played himself as the number 1 pick. Forget Victor Wembanyama.
Wemby.
Kyle Filipowski. Flip.
Duke 500 against Miami this year, apparently.
Are they?
They lost. One of their 2 losses is to Miami, but it was on the road, 81-59. They ran out of the gym.
Wow. Well, you know what I say tonight? Duke by at least 10.
Wow.
Double digits.
How about that?
I say take them to win the whole tournament. Now that North Carolina's out, North Carolina's the only team that can beat Duke. It's written in history. I mean, Duke all the way.
Wait, North Carolina's out?
North Carolina's out, so what does that mean? NIT for North Carolina? After going to the national championship game? NIT.
It's too bad.
It's too bad. Next conference, the Big Ten. You like the Big Ten?
The B10.
The Big Ten. Some people say it's the most entertaining tournament this week. I say it's the tournament of chaos. For months, I've been telling people that this is the deepest conference in America, and some people didn't want to listen. For some reason, people think that the number 12 team in the conference beating the number 3 team in the conference in a conference game in December means that the conference is just bad. No, it means that anybody can win on any given night.
Wow.
And you know what? We're seeing that now. There have been 5 games played in the Big Ten tournament so far. The lower seed is 4-1 in those games.
Wow.
The only higher seed that has won a game in the ACC tournament was the late game last night when Maryland beat Minnesota. But everybody knows Minnesota is a hockey school. They don't play basketball.
That's right. They're a good hockey school,
They're a great hockey school. So that sets up today.
And Maryland's pretty good, right?
Maryland's pretty good, yeah. Minnesota, not so good. Stick to the ice. That sets up today.
Wrong winter sport.
Exactly. Starting out at 11 o'clock, number 1 Purdue has to play Rutgers. You know about Rutgers? They've beaten Purdue twice with a last-second shot.
And they got screwed against Ohio State. I've
They
actually
did.
watched Rutgers play this year.
Rutgers, good team.
Jerry Rucco is the radio voice.
Is he really?
The producer, one of the producers during Boomer and Geo.
I didn't know that. Learning something new.
Yeah.
But I say Purdue needs to be worried. But you know what the team you need to look out for in the Big Ten? Nobody's talking about it.
Who?
Penn State.
Really?
The Nittany Lions. That's a good team right there. They're playing their way into the NCAA tournament, and they have a chance to strengthen their resume tonight against the nerds from Northwestern.
Wow, they're nerds.
They're nerds.
Great journalism school.
Great school all around.
Could be our bosses one day in this
A lot
medium.
of smart people come from Northwestern. Look, I don't say nerd in a sense of mocking
I'm a nerd.
or mean.
Right.
They're great students up there at Northwestern.
Got
Great
nerd out.
basketball players this year at Northwestern.
That's right.
But I don't think they stand a chance to Penn State. Penn State already beat them once. Jalen Pickett, Mr. Do Everything for Penn State. He's a super senior that leads the team in everything, including age. He's the oldest player on the team. Doesn't yet, stand up to DeAndre Williams, but he's a super senior nonetheless. I think Penn State could make the Elite Eight.
Wow, undefeated against Northwestern this year.
What can I say? This team's good. I'm telling you.
I believe it.
Look out for Penn State.
And deepest conference.
Deepest conference in college basketball. Not the best. A lot of people get those confused.
Deepest.
Deepest? Best.
Right.
You want to get to the best conference in college basketball?
Sure.
That's the Big 12.
Wow.
From Grady Dick to the Horny Frogs, the Big 12 could be the strongest conference that college basketball has ever seen.
I love that Dick guy.
It seems like every single time out, you never know who's going to win. It's a ranked matchup versus ranked matchup. But everybody knows that the Big 12 runs through the great state of Texas. TCU versus Texas. Horned Frogs versus Longhorns. Athletic powerhouse versus Texas. Jamie Dixon versus Rodney Terry. It's going to be electric tonight.
Wow.
Winner wins the Big 12.
Wow, so this is essentially the championship.
This is essentially, no, not essentially. This is the championship.
This is the
I don't
championship.
care what anybody else says. Kansas, Iowa State, no. The great state of Texas is where this is going to come from. And TCU, they've been playing really well. They've gotten back to full strength pretty much. They've gotten healthy. That player, Mike Miles Jr., he's back. Everyone says this team's completely different with Mike Miles in the lineup.
He's the real deal.
He's the real deal. I think they're right. Damian Ball, former Tiger.
Former Tiger.
Maybe the best Tiger. Maybe he might go the deepest in a tournament. Former Tiger. He's also on that team. But let me tell you something. We got bad news.
What?
Big man Eddie Lampkin, who's averaging 9 and 6, something like that. He's away from the team. Some bad things going on. He's
personal issues.
Personal issues. He says that the coaches don't treat him right, so he's not with the team. in this tournament. TCU, I think they have the power to be one of the last teams standing or one of the first teams packing in this NCAA tournament.
Wow. Who's the kid? Mike Miles is the kid that came back from injury?
Mm-hmm. He was injured. TCU started to kind of fall off. Everybody was worried about them. Now he's back. Look out.
NCAA tournament run? I'm sorry, I'm hijacking the segment. Keep going.
It's okay.
Sorry.
No, please.
NCAA tournament run?
Well, like I said, they have the power. They could be one of the last teams standing or one of the first teams packing.
Wow.
It's just however the tournament bodes for them.
The cookie crumbles.
How the cookie crumbles. But that's their Fort Worth team. Dave Lotion down in Fort Worth. I bet a lot of TCU hope going on down there.
The greater Dallas metro area.
That's right. The better Texas school down in TCU. Now let's go over to the SEC.
Oh, Southeastern.
Taking place in Nashville, Tennessee, where the games come down to the wire unless you're Tennessee or Vanderbilt. Then you have home court advantage because it's in Nashville. Now here comes the biggest question.
Great point.
Once those two teams make their way to the championship game and play each other, who has more of a home court advantage? The state school or the city school?
Wait, so they're going to play in the championship?
If they win, which I think they will.
Okay.
When they win. Let's not say if. When they win, they're going to meet in the championship game. Who has home court advantage? The state school or the city school?
It's a Vanderbilt City.
But it's a Tennessee State.
That's a great point.
I mean,
I just want to find out.
I guess we'll have to find out. All the other schools available could make a run.
Did Vanderbilt have an injury? Did I hear that correctly? They lost their big guy?
Yeah. They're Liam Robbins, he's out, but they've played well since he's been injured. They haven't skipped a beat. When you got the coach of the year in your corner, not co-coach of the year, he is the coach of the year in the SEC in my book, for whatever that's worth.
Stack.
You can win a lot of games. But there's 8 teams left, 8 teams with a chance to win this conference championship. But I got to ask you something. Number 7 seed, Auburn, lost last night. But a lot of people say that they're safely in the NCAA tournament. But Vanderbilt is one of the last 8 standing, and they're a long shot to make the tournament.
Well, they lost to Arkansas.
Make it make sense.
I can't make it make sense.
It doesn't make sense. But while there's 8 teams left in the SEC tournaments, 8 teams that have a chance of winning the SEC tournament, some people say a team has already won the SEC.
Who?
Ole Miss.
Why?
Because they have their next coach lined up.
Well,
Chris Beard.
Rumored.
Does Ole Miss win the SEC if they hire Chris Beard? Hang a banner?
You know what? Maybe.
Maybe. You don't like the Chris Beard talk.
No, I don't. It's your segment.
I say this is Vanderbilt's league. Vanderbilt's home court, Vanderbilt's league.
The Doors.
The Doors will make the NCAA tournament. It's my take in the SEC.
I like it.
Let's go to Pac-12.
Oh, man, out west.
What is there to say about the Pac-12?
I have nothing.
I don't either.
Wow, dude, play too late for us to watch.
You know, no. It has nothing to do with them playing too late.
Oh, okay.
I can't watch the games. They're all on Pac-12 Network.
Oh.
The only person in the entire Southeast region that is able to watch Pac-12 Network is you, because you have Fubo TV.
And on Sling, I can watch them on both.
Is it on Sling too?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I have neither, so I can't watch any of these games. It's ridiculous that we have a semifinal game this afternoon in the Pac-12 conference, the conference of champions, according to Bill Walton.
Yeah, it is the conference of champions. 8 o'clock.
But I can't watch it. But the late night game's on ESPN.
8 o'clock isn't the afternoon, though.
Is that first game at 8 o'clock?
Uh-huh.
We'll say afternoon out there. Out there, it's only
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock evening.
Is that after
an evening tip-off?
Early evening.
In the tournament, in the Conference of Champions.
Conference of Champions.
I don't know.
It is the Tournament of Champions.
It is the Tournament
of
Champions.
It's the Tournament of the Conference of Champions.
I might name another tournament the Tournament of Champions. But
okay.
That's
next.
next.
The gun. Oregon, UCLA.
I don't know who the Big Ten commissioner is, but he's done a lousy job. I have a proposal. Let's fire him.
Kevin Warren.
Okay, Kevin, you're fired. You're not the commissioner of the Big Ten anymore.
You're fired.
Bill Walton, congratulations. You're the commissioner of the Conference of Champions.
Wait, so the Big Ten is the Conference of Champions now?
That's right. Conference of Champions, yes. Tournament of Champions. Well, let's get there now. The Big East. The Tournament of Champions in Madison Square Garden. You love Madison Square Garden. MSG. Did the Rangers win last night, by the way? Speaking of MSG.
Canadians.
Yeah, in overtime.
Yeah, it's shootout.
A shootout, because I couldn't watch it because
you don't have Pac-12 network.
Because I don't have Pac-12 network. I couldn't watch it because I turned it off because I had my bet was 60-minute bet. So it was done by the time they got to
It's like a draw, no bet in soccer. Anyway, I want to hear about the Big East.
It's not a draw, no bet.
You're veering away. Yeah, you're running out of steam. I want to hear about the Big East.
I love the Big East. It is one of the best tournaments in all of sports, is the Big East tournament.
What's happening in it right now?
Right now, we've got 4 ranked teams left in the Tournament of Champions. UConn, Marquette, Creighton, Xavier. Who will come out on top? I don't know. It's a good question.
It is a good question.
They all could win it. I mean, you never know.
They could.
But I say something.
UConn is favored over Marquette today.
Wow, and they're
3.5-point favorites, and they're lower seed.
Dan Hurley. Love Dan Hurley. Fiery coach Dan Hurley is. Shaka. Ooh, that's going to be a great coaching matchup.
Two fiery guys.
Two fiery guys. But I do love St. John's. They gave Marquette a run for their money yesterday. Took them to overtime. But St. John's, there's a special place in my heart for St. John's in the NIT, and I think that might be where they're going, if they even make the NIT this year.
Sounds like you're excited for the NIT this season.
I'm excited for the NIT. And to wrap us up, the last tournament I want to get to, the American Athletic Conference.
The P6.
The P6, except...
That's what you did, the P6 schools.
Exactly, I did it last.
Or the P6 conferences.
Yeah, I did it last. But, the commissioner came out yesterday and said that there shouldn't be any Power 5 Power 5 conferences or Group of 5 conferences, that they need to throw that in the dumpster. But the American really gets kicked up today. We've got a whole day of games. Houston, the favorite to win the whole thing. Tulane and Wichita State in the night, but right there in the middle, UCF and Memphis. I got a feeling this could be the Tigers' year.
Really?
It could also be any of these teams' year.
Wow.
Because they're all in the quarterfinals.
So you're going to be right.
One of these 8 teams
is going to win the championship.
Is going to win the championship.
I love it.
And one of these 8 teams, 2 of these 8 teams are going to make the NCAA tournament.
Wow. Not 3.
Not 3. 2.
So that means either Houston or Memphis is winning the championship.
No, 3. 3 teams will make. No, 2 teams. I can't go that far.
You can't predict Tulane or UCF or Temple.
No.
Wow, Temple 5-point dogs at Cincinnati today.
Wow.
Is Temple 5 points worse than Cincinnati? You've seen them both play.
It depends on what Temple team shows up. I say no. Temple straight up.
Great answer. We're out of time. I loved it, though. That's a great segment.
Thank you.
Can I ask you a bonus? I know this isn't a question and answer segment.
Please. No, it's like a teacher after they do their lesson. They open it up for questions and answers.
You finish your lecture. As we're leaving, I have a question.
Okay.
What's been the best American's a mid-major conference. Sorry. What's been the best,
outside of the
outside
P6.
of the P6? What's been the best league tournament that you've seen so
far? I really like
OVC.
OVC's really good. I liked the
NBC, Mountain West.
Mountain West has been good. I'll take it.
Did our team win last night? Did New Mexico win?
Can I be honest?
Yeah, they lost.
I don't know.
They lost.
Did they lose?
Uh-huh.
It's too bad.
They lost by 20.
I like the
15, sorry.
The Conference USA has been pretty good.
FAU, right?
They FAU won last night, but we had only one close game. They've all been kind of blowouts, but this is when it really gets serious. But, they do it where they've got like a big complex where they have 2 courts, and so they can do it. They can play games at the same time. So you can get more games in less amount of time.
Frisco, Texas.
Yeah. But I also liked the Horizons last week. That was a really good tournament.
Well, now you're ready for conference tournaments.
It's going to be a great day.
If you haven't been watching yet, Bryant has been for all of us.
Let's have a great day of conference tournament basketball.
Bryant, it's a great day to have a day.
That's right.
Back after this.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
With winter arriving, we start to think about spirit, and I've got the spirit I think about. It's from Old Dominick. You know Old Dominick? That is our hometown distillery, right in the heart of downtown. Old Dominick, by the way, gives full distillery tours with curated tastings. There's craft cocktails. It is really a neat place to go. So when you're looking for something to do downtown, something a little different, I suggest you go see my friends at Old Dominick. The other aspect about Old Dominick is the product itself. What a great spirit that they have just finally released. So they have this master distiller. Her name is Alex Castle. She won't let anything be released until it's perfect. We've been waiting a long time for 2 whiskeys. One's a sipping, the other is bottle in bond. They are incredible. It took a long time, but Old Dominic has finally released those 2 whiskeys. You will love the spirit at Old Dominic.
Get in the game with DeSoto Auto Sales.
We're maniacs from all this madness, and if we're going to catch all these games, we need your help. So DeSoto Auto Sales has cooked up a 3-point plan to help you rebound from your old ride.
Step 1, pick any of our rides on the lot.
Step 2, pass us your old ride.
Step 3, we'll come in with the assist.
So if your old ride makes you feel like you're on the second string, it's time for a rebound, and we can get you in that ride of your dreams.
Worried about fouls on your credit report? The DeSoto Auto Sales credit approval process is a slam dunk. But hurry, this deal is done at the buzzer. DeSoto Auto Sales is the Mid-South's #1 pre-owned dealer, and we're not afraid to go into double overtime for you.
See all our rides at DeSotoAutoSales.com.
That's DeSotoAutoSales.com.
Corky's Barbecue. Hi, Jimmy Stovall here with Corky's Barbecue. We have been helping Memphians with their celebrations for more than 38 years. Whether you're picking up one of our party packs to serve yourself or booking one of our private dining rooms at our Cordova location or our Olive Branch location, Corky's has you covered. We make it easy for you to impress your guests for company parties, sports banquets, or reunions. Corky's has been trusted year after year for all of your party needs. Call today and reserve your private party room before your date is booked.
Flavor, Corky's Barbecue.
For over 8 decades, America's farmers have counted on the Little Red Tractor from Case IH, the Farmall, to help them make short work of their demanding chores. Well, Mid-South Ag can show you they aren't just for farms anymore. With horsepower ranging from 30 to 105, plus an army of attachments, they can tackle every chore on your to-do list, from hauling and mowing to loading and towing and then some. Stop by Mid-South Ag Equipment or call 662-890-3141 to find a Case IH Farmall that's right for you.
I know you're thinking about pools and patios right now. Don't deny it, they're on your mind. So it's a good thing that Family Leisure is having their pre-season patio and pool sale. It's like they're mind readers. You can buy now and save big with the area's largest selection of patio furniture. You want free layaway? Done. You want special financing? Done. You want to be ready to enjoy your backyard just as soon as spring hits? Family Leisure has you covered. Patio and pool season's not that far away. So now's the time to take advantage of this fantastic early bird pricing special. Now here comes the really special part. If you mention this commercial, you get half off delivery and installation. I'll let that sink in for a second. You heard me right, my friends. You mentioned this very commercial, and Family Leisure will give you half off delivery and installation. The preseason patio and pool sale is happening now at Family Leisure, Witten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
The experienced technicians at Conway Services are ready to solve all of your drain problems. For a limited time, take advantage of our 83 or It's Free drain clearing special. Feel secure knowing the trusted professionals at Conway Services guarantee that if we can't clear it, you don't pay for it. Call now or visit conwayservices.com for details, terms, and conditions. License number 64210, 64365 EAS, MS 19668.
Call 384-3511. Conway Services. Call Conway today.
Now, back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM, presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Dave Woloshin not here today. I can't tell you why. No, I can't. I'm just
Conference tournament time.
That's right. I was quoting the song.
Oh.
Yeah, no, Dave Woloshin not here today. He's in Fort Worth for the conference tournament. Not the Tournament of Champions, though, right?
No, it's Big East.
Great segment, Brian,
Thank
by the
you.
way. I mean, excellent job.
I hope I informed the listeners on what to watch for in some of these big conference tournaments.
No, I mean, for people that haven't been paying attention, you gave them
Gave them the update they needed.
An update they needed
Right.
so they could get excited about what's to come.
Because I get it. I mean, you don't want to watch 12 versus 10, you know. You want to watch 1 versus 3. You want to watch it when it gets down to the nitty-gritty. But I've been watching the whole time.
Oh, I love the nitty. When does it get down to the nitty-gritty?
Well,
for you, it's already there.
It's already there, but I mean, it depends. I wouldn't say are the quarterfinals nitty-gritty, or is it the semifinals when we get to the nitty-gritty?
The quarters. I think the nitty-gritty starts when the tournament starts.
I think so, too.
That's the nitty-gritty.
I think so, too. I think you're right.
Nitty-gritty dirt band. What else? The Grizzlies don't play tonight.
Nope.
The Tigers play tonight. We
Tigers
talked
play
about
tonight.
that. But there's a lot of games today, Brian.
Bunch of games.
Have you gambled on any of them yet?
I can't say I have.
Well, we could handicap live.
What's
here.
handicap?
Talking out our bets. That's one of my favorite
Okay.
segments.
Oh,
to
it's a
do.
great segment. The first game's Purdue-Rutgers.
Well, one segment that one game that I wanted to ask you about that I thought was crazy is that Vanderbilt are 8.5, some places 9-point dogs to Kentucky today. And that seems like a lot of points to me. However, Greg Peterson says they win by 7.5 points. Kentucky does. Do you buy that? Is Kentucky playing well?
Kentucky's playing well. This could be the game that having Liam Roberts out hurts you. Robbins, not Roberts. I think it could hurt you. LR.
Not
But
Little Rock.
I don't know. I mean, like I said earlier, if you missed it, you got that Coach of the Year in your corner.
Coy.
The game changes.
But he's not the Coach of the Year.
He is the Coach of the Year. Co-Coach of the Year, but he's Coach of the Year in my book.
Oh, really? In your personal record book? So, but he actually was Co-Coach of the Year.
Co-Coach of the Year, yeah, with Buzz.
Do you have one more bet?
Buzz.
Before we get done here?
You know what? Let's take the first game. Rutgers is Purdue's kryptonite. Taking plus the 10.5.
Okay. I like that. I'm down to root for Rutgers today. So we got Rutgers and we got Vandy.
How about that?
And we got Duke -2 over. We have Duke over Miami.
Oh yeah, Duke wins by at least double digits.
All right, great. Johnny Radio next.
Homer Skelton Hyundai Genesis in Olive Branch has an offer you can't refuse. They will pay you to do business with them if you want luxury. And I'm talking the Genesis G70 car. If you would love to have that kind of new technology, they will give you a $1,000 rebate when you finance with Genesis Motor Finance. In other words, they'll pay you $1,000 to do business with them, and you get brand new luxury. You can't beat it. That's Homer Skelton Hyundai Genesis, right at the corner of Craft Road and Highway 78 in Olive Branch. Homer Skelton Hyundai Genesis in Olive Branch, where customer retention is amazing. There's a reason. They take care of you with a team that's been together for a long time. Whether it's finance or whether it's service, you can't beat them. Homer Skelton Hyundai Genesis.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roofing. In these uncertain economic times, there are so many things as a contractor and a business owner that I cannot control. The rising cost of materials, not to mention fuel and transportation costs. In the last 2 years, shingle prices have almost doubled and commercial materials have doubled. And I don't have to tell you what fuel costs these days. But you know what I can control? How much markup I put on a project. I have always prided myself in knowing I never gouge a customer. But in an effort to ensure my crews have work and my customers are being treated fairly, I have lowered my profit margin, hoping to give you a price you can live with and keeping my crews busy. So if you need a roof or gutters, please give us a call. Fiveash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. Fiveash Roofing, a proud sponsor of Tiger Athletics and a member of the Tigers home team. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you. BNL, BNL, BNL.
Hey, Bob, why is everyone chanting BNL?
Well, Mike, that's because B&L is the home team of heating and air companies in the Mid-South. Yeah, B&L is a premier heating and air company. They're family-owned and operated, so you know you're going to get treated like family when you need their help.
Ooh, I like the sound of that.
Oh, and one of the really neat things about B&L Heating and Air is that they can do everything the big guys can do, but with small-town prices and old-fashioned friendly service.
Wow, that's great. You know, I've been meaning to call someone to come check my system out before summer gets here.
Well, you can turn to the team at B&L Heating and Air and know that you're going to get fast and friendly service. But You need to call as soon as you can because I hear they have some specials on spring system tune-ups and specials on new system installations as well.
Okay, Bob. I'm going to give them a call before the game starts. Let me look them up on my phone. Here we go. blheatingair.com. Phone is 662-342-4433.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
When you think about insurance and you want great value without sacrificing great service, I want you to think one place: the Eflin Insurance and the entire Eflin Insurance team. Matt and his group of professionals will access 10 leading companies to find the right home and auto program that fits your budget and your absolute needs. The Eflin Insurance team, the number 386-GER, 386-4777.
I only do one thing, residential real estate sales. This is Sheldon Rosengarten with Mark Spensdorf Realtors.
I'm Kelly Erb and work with Sheldon at Mark Spensdorf Realtors. Sheldon, what happens if someone needs help with a commercial or an investment property?
Kelly, over the years, I've had many people ask if we could help them buy, rent, or sell commercial properties, investment, warehouse spaces, or land. But as Clint Eastwood said, a man has to know his limitations, and I know mine. We work with specialists in the real estate industry who are trained and know a whole lot more than we do in commercial sales, leasing, and so forth. So remember what people say about selling houses when you want the job done. Who do you call, Kelly?
You call or email Sheldon or me, Kelly Erb, at 355-3830. And if it's not involving residential, check with us anyhow, as we know people who know what they're doing in other fields.
That's Kelly Erb at 355-3830, or reach me, Sheldon Rosengarten, at MemphisRelocate.com or 483-0546.